Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is July 7th, 2018. Give a shout out to my man Landon Garza. He wanted me to play some Boot Camp Click out of NY. Thanks for the song request. I haven't heard them in a very long time, but it's good to hear it. So what's going on, people? Hope you guys are doing all right. It's the weekend. It's nice over in the Midwest where I am. So I'm gonna enjoy the day once we get done with this video. But today we're gonna be talking about two things. Bitmain, yes, the Bitmain that has over 42% of hashing power control over Bitcoin has now acquired a web browser. We're going to be talking about which one that is and what does this mean for the cryptocurrency space. These big companies that have made millions and actually billions of dollars from the cryptocurrency space. Is this move, you know, they're not the only one doing this. We had Tron, they bought BitTorrent. Are these moves, these divesting maneuvers out of crypto a good thing? Is there some type of reason behind it, or is this a sign, a warning sign for us that a lot of these guys don't believe in the space? You guys will have to let me know about that. But the second thing we're going to be talking about is Ethereum. A researcher from the Ethereum Foundation said recently that he thought that sharding should be available by 2020. And I also heard that rumors about Casper being ready in 2019, sometime in 2019. We'll discuss that. Is that too far? What are your thoughts about that? We'll get into the nitty gritty on that in a second. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the market cap. We're currently at $266 billion. Bitcoin's dominance is at 42.48%. We're pretty much right where we were yesterday. Feels like Groundhog's Day again. Just a sideways moving market right now, ladies and gents. I know Tezos has some issues. They're getting slaughtered. I don't know what's going on over there. Digibyte made a nice pop the other day off of some news of a partnership. And but other than that, nothing really to talk about coin specific in my opinion. So let's take a look at this TA for Bitcoin. Nothing really update you guys on. Pretty much where we were yesterday. But again, the longer we stay under this 6,600 area, the greater the possibility of us moving down in the markets. And I'm not seeing it, people, so we'll just keep an eye on that. But the first article out of CCN, and it says here, Ethereum sharding slated for 2020. Ethereum Foundation researcher Justin Drake said. Says here, sharding, a much anticipated Ethereum scaling solution, could be implemented as soon as 2020, Ethereum Foundation researcher Justin Drake said on Friday. Speaking to TechCrunch, Ethereum researchers, including Drake and co-founder Vitalik Buterin, discussed scaling solutions and the future of the project, outlining specific goals and functions of their upcoming new features. Discussing scaling, Buterin said that transaction fees depend largely on supply and demand, adding, "There are a lot of people who are sending transactions and want those transactions to get onto the blockchain. The blockchain is popular enough and people are interested enough in using it that they basically have to compete to get those transactions included into the blockchain." He acknowledged that if the team were able to start afresh, they would be able to implement numerous features that would significantly help the scaling, but added that the problem was fundamentally hard either way. Goes on to say here, Ethereum Foundation researcher Justin Drake described two current priorities as Casper, proof of stake fork, and sharding, the Ethereum scaling solution aimed at allowing the blockchain to take on more users and transactions without becoming congested and slowing down. The idea of proof of stake is partly to provide a new superpower to blockchains, which is called finality. The other idea of proof of stake is to reduce the cost of consensus, said Drake. And just to chime in on that, EOS is that very thing where we're providing finality in the blockchain, and I see that this is a goal for Ethereum to implement. And you know what, I think if we're gonna have these types of blockchains that are used for utility, not so much for currency, they're gonna have to move from proof of work to proof of stake. It's just it has to go that way. It's the only way you can scale, in my opinion. While initially, it says, the article goes on to say, while initially the POS initiative and sharding were being developed separately, Drake said that they are now both being combined into one design due to sharing a common infrastructure, as well as adding beneficial network effects by being implemented together. Drake says, with sharding, you have all these different shards, and they're like parallel universes, pretty disconnected from each other. And so you want to wait for the shards to be able to communicate with each other, and we do that by what we call cross-links or checkpoints. Drake continued to explain that integrating Casper with sharding strengthened these checkpoints, allowing for increased security and scalability in one design. The team are calling the new initiative Ethereum 2.0, which they describe as a very ambitious project that will likely be rolled out over several years, despite being just a single, albeit complex design. So the final paragraph here I want to read is what Drake says about the timeline. He says, my expectations is that Casper will come first, possibly next year in 2019. Then in sharding, we've actually broken it down into two major phases. Phase one is actually the data layer, so coming to consensus as to what data is in the shards. Phase two is all about the state, giving meaning to the data and the notion of transactions. The article says here that Drake believes sharding phases 1 and 2 will come in 2020 and 21 respectively. So you guys got to let me know. That does not sound like good news. I'm gonna be honest with you. In this fast-paced industry of blockchain, which is like a subset of technology, is like, man, things move so fastly, and I don't know. I think a roadmap of, at this point they're talking about 3 years is going to really put them well behind the pace of blockchain adoption. So that's been my concern. I'm not hating. I'm just telling you how I feel. Of course, I would love to see Ethereum work at scale, but I'm just not convinced. You guys gotta let me know what your thoughts are about that, and convince me, help me understand why Ethereum is still going to be a contender in the next year or two with this long drawn out roadmap that we're now starting to see. So let me know your thoughts on that, and we can discuss those in detail under this video. But the second article is Bitmain. This is out of Live Bitcoin News, by the way. It says Bitmain now expanding into internet browsers. So basically, it looks like Bitmain is taking a $50 million stake in the Opera company, Ltd company. So it says here, it appears that Bitmain, the China-based cryptocurrency mining company, is not content with dominating one particular industry. It is slowly expanding its reach, and its latest acquisition is a stake in Opera Ltd, the parent company of the Opera internet browser. I used to use Opera a little bit, but that was before Chrome became popular. But once Chrome kind of took the stage, I stopped using Opera. It says here, Opera Ltd filed for an IPO last week in order to raise $115 million. The Norway-based company is the parent company for the Opera internet browser, which boasts an average of about 322 million users per month. As part of the IPO, Opera is making several private deals as well. First, they are selling $10 million in shares to 2 buyers. The other private deal finds them selling $50 million in shares to Tosspring, which is Bitmain. Interesting. Says getting bigger. One could easily say that Bitmain is on a roll, and they are definitely getting bigger. The cryptocurrency mining company earned between $3 and $4 billion in revenue last year. It has also raised substantial monies through 2 rounds of funding. The first round of funding last year raised $50 million. But the most recent round, a staggering $300 to $400 million. The company is now valued at $12 billion. It seems that the company is not resting on its mining laurels. Co-founder Jihan Wu has said that he wishes to create private blockchain-based banks. While details are still sketchy on how centralized banking will take place upon the blockchain, Bitmain is looking to invest in quite a few startups in the sphere. Of course, Bitmain currently holds a commanding share of the Bitcoin blockchain's hash rate through BTC.com and Antpool, both owned and controlled by Bitmain. The company has almost a 42% share of Bitcoin's hash rate. The percentage could be raised a few points if the company ceased mining for Bitcoin Cash. Overall, the cryptocurrency mining giant is taking its considerable profits and using them to expand their reach. First mining, then blockchain-based banking startups, and now the web browser Opera. So I don't know, man. I mean, great that they're investing in different things, but you know, like I said at the beginning, you guys gotta let me know, do you see a problem with them divesting out of blockchain? You know, buying Opera, are they going to possibly make that a crypto-based browser? Or are they seeing that the profits in the blockchain industry are slowing down? I would think with them being the type of figurehead they are in the cryptocurrency space, they would be investing a lot into different crypto startups. And maybe they are. Maybe there are private deals going on that they're investing in. But you saw with Tron buying BitTorrent. I don't know. I wonder, these big players, are they not seeing the fast growth going forward in the future? You guys gotta let me know what your thoughts are. I don't know. I'm up in the air about that. I'm not too sure. So you guys let me know what you think about that. We'll have a discussion about it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And we're gonna rock out to this boot camp click for the rest of the day. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Ha!